This is the EeVe Atreo. Scooters like this are very important for the Indian market and we are here to tell you why. Hello and welcome to DriveSpark. I'm Stephen Neal and this is the review of the EeVe Atreo. In terms of design and styling, the EeVe Atreo is really attractive. It's very obvious that EeVe was targeting the younger audience, the younger crowd with this scooter. So you've got sharp lines all over the scooter. Right up front you can see several sharp lines. You've got a sharp line here, another here, another here. It's very angular in nature. You've got LED headlamps up front, you've got an LED DRL and you've got an LED matrix on each side for the low beam and for the high beam respectively. Also you've got LED indicators up here, you've got a for air intake right here that does nothing. Also you've got graphics over here that this one says power and down there you've got EeVe and well, it looks really attractive from up front. The same angular design and sharp edges continues on the side profile as well. When viewed from the side profile, when you look at the front end, it looks like the beak of a very famous ADV from a well-known Italian manufacturer. Let's not go there, but then it looks really great. You've got this really high-placed floorboard here. That's because the batteries are under there, which leads to an awkward riding position, which we will come to later. But EeVe can't really help it. Also, you've got a very sleek and sharp body right here with EeVe Atreo graphics, and it looks really attractive. Of course, we can't miss this, the grab rail at the rear. It's one of the largest we've seen on a scooter till date, and there is dual tone styling all over the scooter, including the grab rail. It rides on dual tone alloy wheels, and up front you've got a disc brake, which also adds to the styling element to a certain extent. And also you've got these covers which are on both sides of the swing arm. They're there just to cover the swing arm and a bit of the suspension, and they do not serve a function. At the rear is an LED tail lamp that is flanked by LED indicators and looks really fancy. To be honest, it's a premium setup right here. Also you've got this grab rail that is adding to the design element. Under it you've got this mudguard that is not of great plastic quality, but then it adds to the overall design element by carrying over the sharp design lines that we've been talking about all along. Also you've got the dual tone swing arm covers that are also visible to the rear. It's on both the sides, so that adds to the styling element as well, and so does the motor. So the overall styling package looks great. EeVe Atreo looks great. Time to talk about the features, specifications and powertrain of the EeVe Atreo. So you've got LED lighting all around, you've got LED headlamps, LED tail lamps, LED indicators. So that's LEDs taking care of the lighting. Also, instrumentation is handled by a single circular dial. It's an LCD screen. It's a very simple dial. It's pretty small in size too. It just displays the motor speed, it displays the vehicle speed, it displays the riding modes and also the battery voltage, and that's about it. You've got remote locking and unlocking. You've also got a button on the remote to start the vehicle. And well, that's about it in terms of features. Now coming to technological features, you've got geofencing and geotagging that EeVe is offering with this scooter, so that can be factory enabled as well. Well, that's about it in features. Let's get to the powertrain. The EeVe Atreo is powered by a 250 watt motor at the rear. It is a hub motor and it is being powered by a 27 ampere hour battery, 72 volts, and well, that drives the scooter. Riding modes, they make a difference in terms of the top speed. Acceleration remains the same in all three riding modes. In mode 1 you can do a top speed of 35 kmph at the max, where it goes to 40 kmph in mode 2, and mode 3 takes you to 45 kmph. What's the EeVe Atreo like to ride? Let's talk about the performance figures first. It certainly isn't the best in terms of outright performance. The maximum top speed we could achieve on a flat surface was 45 km per hour. On some slopes we did manage to take it up to 49 km per hour, but the opposite effect was felt on inclines where the electric scooter refused to cross the 41 km per hour mark. Acceleration is decent too, with 0 to 40 km per hour done in just about 8 seconds. As mentioned earlier, the EeVe Atreo features 3 riding modes simply named 1, 2 and 3. The acceleration remains the same in all the modes, with the only difference being the top speed. In mode 1, the EeVe Atreo touches 33 km per hour quite easily and eventually makes it to 35. In mode 2, it goes on to 40 and mode 3 takes it to 45 km per hour. The throttle response too remains the same in all the ride modes. The biggest concern for EV owners and buyers these days is range, and the Atreo gave us a decent number, 55 km. To be fair though, we rode almost all of the 55 km at full throttle in mode 3. Charging the battery from 0 to 100% takes just over 7 hours. The EeVe Atreo rides on a telescopic fork up front and twin shocks at the rear. The suspension is tuned to be on the softer side and hence it absorbs the bumps and potholes quite well. Braking is surely the forte of the EeVe Atreo. With a disc brake up front and a drum at the rear, the EeVe Atreo surprised us with excellent braking abilities. The battery pack is placed under the floorboard. This helps the scooter get a low center of gravity and it also raises the floorboard quite a bit. As a result, the riding position is a little awkward. The rider's knees are positioned higher than the hips. We found our knees fouling with the handlebar while maneuvering the scooter through tight spaces and while trying to take a U-turn. For taller riders, this is certainly an area of concern. After a day of riding the EeVe Atreo around, we did end up wishing for a more comfortable seating position. Apart from this, riding the EeVe Atreo is quite a pleasant experience. After riding the scooter around for a bit, there are a few things that we like about the scooter. Firstly, of course, we've talked about the design. It's very attractive. It's been designed to attract the younger audience, and yes, it looks brilliant. Secondly, we love the braking. It's a disc brake up front and a drum brake at the rear, but the braking is adequate. It's more than adequate. In fact, it is very good for this segment. For the speeds that this scooter can achieve, the braking is excellent. And also, we have got the ride modes. Of course, they don't make a huge difference as such, but then it makes a difference when you are trying to save your battery or trying to increase your range. That's when the ride modes help you a lot, and that's why we like them a lot. Also, there are a few things that could have been better on the EeVe Atreo. For example, the range. The manufacturer says that it will do 60 to 70 kilometers on a fully charged battery, but the maximum we could do was 55 kilometers. Of course, that depends on the gradients, but then we would want it to be better. Then the second thing is the instrument cluster. As said earlier, the instrument cluster, the dial itself is very small, but it is surrounded by this huge blank space, so to say. So that could have been designed better. The third thing that we wish could have been better was the seating position. Of course, it's an electric vehicle, the batteries are mounted in the floor, and hence the knees are above the rider's hips. That is not very comfortable over long distances. Probably the seat height could have been increased to compensate for that. And the last and final thing is the build quality. Overall, it's very plasticky. Of course, it's not bad quality plastics, don't mistake us, but then the plastics could have been better and a bit of metal here and there wouldn't have hurt. At the beginning of the video, I had told you that scooters like the EeVe Atreo are important to the growth of the EV segment in the country, and now it's time to tell you why. The EV space is divided into multiple segments. At the top, there are scooters that cost well over a lakh rupees and they come with all the features you would want. And at the very bottom are extremely basic scooters that barely have any range, and the asking price for it too isn't very great. This is very important as it slots right in between. At Rs 64,900, the EeVe Atreo isn't very expensive and it gives you just what you need. Not too many features, not too many complications, just what you need. That's what the EeVe Atreo is all about. That's it from us for now. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to DriveSpark. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. This is me, Stephen Neal, signing off.